What's up, guys? It's your boy Ray coming at you live from somewhere on this very pleasant Tuesday morning, also free agency morning. And I wanted to chat with you for a bit about Jaylen Brown and the narrative that's been crafted around him, around Jamal, and what that might mean for the Nuggets. So, for starters, I think the Nuggets are in a position where they are open to moves, but they're not so desperate that they have to come right now, that they have to happen today. Even if you're looking to shed salary, even if you're looking to reconfigure the roster in order to compete for a championship in 2026 and beyond, it's not like everything has to happen this summer. It can happen at the trade deadline. It can happen next offseason, I think, as well, in terms of trying to retain Jokic and make sure that he's satisfied. Versus when you look across the aisle and you look at the Boston Celtics, they're in a position, I think, where because of the things that Jaylen has said, um, around like enjoying being the star player and kind of being that lead option, especially in a context where his co-star is so similar to him in position. Um, and on top of the fact that you've already kind of been shopping him in terms of the Giannis Antetokounmpo deal, you kind of have to move Jaylen Brown. And so for each team, when you look around the league, how many players, if you're Denver, how many players in the market are better than Jaylen Brown? Excuse me, pushing those up. How many players on the trade market are better than Jaylen Brown? I'm not sure if there are many. And of those guys, or guys who are even just on that caliber, most of them in my mind are in the 30 to 38 range. It's your Kevin Durant, your Kawhi Leonards, that sort of thing. Versus if you're, and kind of vice versa, if you're the Celtics, how many players available are better than Jamal Murray who aren't also in that range? I would say not many. And, for both teams, as much as you can probably get better deals in terms of value, looking for younger players, for role players, for draft picks, that sort of thing. I think if you're looking to compete in the short term, you kind of have to bring back a star. And I think that's a lot of the basis for the trade that we're talking about. So, as much as it kind of gives us the ick, I think all sides. I think Celtics fans aren't super excited about Jamal because it seems like the general perception of him that in a way he is a Jokic merchant. It's hard to trust that his production is going to translate in the same way if he's not working with Jokic. And for Jaylen Brown, you're kind of skeptical about his productivity in a situation where he's not the number one option, his willingness to accept that kind of role. Now, I think if you're Denver, you do get a look that's very different. The potential to create a unit with more length, athleticism, uh, creation from different spots. I think that's there. And if you're Boston, I think you get to kind of undo some of the redundancy in the Brown Tatum duo, which I think can be good for them in a way as well. In both cases, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge for their coaches to try to massage those players together. But I do think there's a lot of there. However, I think for the Denver Nuggets, you've got to be patient. And I think patience is really the key word for me in all of these things with this offseason. You've got to keep an eye on the fact that you don't have the assets to go out and make a deal where you give up too much, because if you have to make other moves to really complete the team, then you're going to be out of luck. On top of the fact that because the Boston Celtics are in a position where you kind of have to trade Jaylen Brown, I think you can kind of squeeze them a bit. let them go into camp with Jaylen Brown on their roster. I think they're going to start feeling it. I think that asking price is going to come down a bit. Now, all that being said, I don't know if it's going to happen for various reasons, just like inertia. I think the Nuggets like Jamal Murray and they'd be comfortable keeping him. And I think um, Boston probably isn't going to want to feel like they're getting squeezed on a guy. But I think this is a situation where we got to keep our options open, keep ourselves open minded about what can be, and just stay patient for the right deal. You don't want to trade all your assets for one guy and not be able to complete the roster. Because as much as I think Jaylen Brown might work out in Denver, you do still need a point guard. Maybe you can get Derek White. Maybe that's something they can work out. But um, that's pretty much it for me. Um, Hopefully, they signed P Watt today to a deal that allows Denver to at least remain as competitive as they have been, and they have, because they still have that opportunity to make more moves in the regular season, at the deadline, and so on, or just. I mean, if you want to run it back, there is a version of the team you can kind of imagine that might have a better shot, that might get a little bit more lucky than they did, that might be able to reconfigure themselves in a way that makes more sense. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. And yeah, go Nuggets.